Untitled Chapter. I'd like to call to order the City of Shamokin Council meeting dated March 14th, 2022. At this time, we'll recite the pledge to the flag. Remain standing for a moment of silent prayer. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, Mr. Slavy, will you do roll call?
Councilman Lashinsky. Present. Councilman Roden.
Here.
Councilwoman Ennis.
Here.
Councilwoman Moyer. Mrs. Moyer is absent. She's overwhelmed with the weather this evening. And Mayor Alder.
Here.
4 present, 1 absent.
Okay. Do we have any presentations?
No, sir. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clousey?
Yes. Member Council, let me give you. Thank you. Let me pass this around, and then we'll talk.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're running around all day.
You're gonna lose a lot of weight now. You're gonna get buff.
Thank you. You just got one to that letter later. This is.
Okay. Can I make? I member the council. My name is Vinnie Quasi, former Northumberland County Commissioner. I took something on for the Ukrainian children in Ukraine and Poland. We have an orphanage where they have 1,000 kids. And my goal is to go out. We had a news conference today. Mary was there. You can speak up then a little bit. Joey was there. And our goal is to raise $100,000. I donated $10,000 my own money today. And people in this room have donated money too. And I will appreciate it in the city of Shimokin. It's all over the news tonight, all the station. Tomorrow's going to be all over the paper. I appreciate it in the city of Shimokin. Make some kind of donation to take care of this children. I understand you guys have a fund where the employee, they got $5,000 or $10,000 each. I don't know what kind of fund it was for the government. And I understand that my source told me that you guys can make a contribution out of there for a nonprofit organization for children, whatever. Mr. Slip, you got to check it out. I'm not talking to do something you to get in trouble. And even to the solicitor, you know what I mean? You got to check it
I
out.
will talk with you and also talk with.
Okay, so you guys cannot do that. I will ask the city to have a fundraiser. Maybe we could do one of they raise money for the firework. We could put a bucket on the entrance, Shimokin, a bucket coming out that way. So you guys can raise some money for us. It's appreciated. Second, we took this thing we launched today, the presentation out of Shimokin. You go every news that says Shimokin. Okay. Also, I'm not gonna guarantee you that, but when we get to the Ukraine, and me and the father, we're gonna go personally to bring the money down. We're gonna bring the cash. Okay, we're gonna risk our life too to go there, but we take our chance. And I have a contact to CNN, Fox News. They're not guaranteed they meet us up there, but they say they're going to meet us up there when we make the presentation with the money. So Shimokin will be put on the map. Northumberland County will be put on the map. besides the point, we all gotta work to take care of the children. Ukraine didn't do nothing wrong. Russia went in and invaded Ukraine. So all over the United States, you know, our government is, we're all together. And we're gonna stick together. Anything you guys can do, go to Facebook, send it to your friend, to your relative. They can make donations right in here. It's where the donation goes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Clausy, for what you're doing.
You're welcome.
And, I was just wondering, what we're gonna do too, Mr. Clausy, Mr. Slade.
Call me Vinny. I like Vinny.
All right, Vinny, that, we will put this on the city's Facebook website.
Right.
So.
And make sure, you know, the city, you guys do the fundraise too, you know.
Right. And also, like you had said earlier at the church, anybody can send their checks made payable to Northumberland.
Right, it's all on the brochure, yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
Joe, you're an expert.
Yeah.
So,
But thank
and,
you for coming, Vinny. You know how I feel about this and.
well, I donated $10,000 my own money today, you know, and it's what it is we all work together. My goal is, what I said today, you was there, Rick.
Yeah.
As we can get $5 for each residence in Northumberland County, we have a 35,000 household. So we can get $5 each, we raise $170,000. But our goal is for $70,000, $100,000. Okay, thank you for your time, and I appreciate it, guys. Making this
Rich, just a question, how much have you raised so far?
So far, I can tell you right now, technology is such advanced. I can give you the number right now. I must have got, since it was in the news at 6 o'clock, I must have got a 50 call. I'll tell you right now where we go. It is. Come on. Between the last night and right now, overnight we raised $12,000. And since it was in the news, and now we raised $3,000. So it's 15,000 plus 10 of my own is 25, plus we raised 7,000 today.
See, over 30,000.
15, 15, 10, 25, 30, yeah, over 30, $32,000 so far we have.
That's great.
And I want to thank you, that gentleman, they donated pretty good money today. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I'm not gonna release the info, I'm not gonna release the amount. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do we have any business?
No, sir.
Okay, do we have any comments?
Yes, I have one that was submitted prior to today. A letter from Coal Region Auto Sales. Basically, the company is located out on Route 61. Call Coal Region Auto Sales. They are requesting consideration to be used as a towing agent when needed here in the city. If it pleases council, I would like to recommend that I speak with the chief of police and come back to council at the workshop to discuss it further when he's here.
I agree.
Is that okay, Mayor?
Yes, sir, okay.
The other thing is I have received, which it's necessary that I report on this, despite the fact that it was like at the very end of the day. This afternoon, I received, and I will read, it's addressed to Mayor Ulrich and City Council. Due to recent changes and decisions relating to the elimination of some of the staff in the code office, which had already been understaffed, I feel I no longer have the proper tools to effectively perform the responsibilities assigned to me. I can hold my head high knowing that the great improvements that have been made over this past year in overall public opinion, improvement in so many properties as well as office organization and improved process. That was because of all the hard work and dedication of the team that was assembled. The fact that they were willing to help for so little compensation truly demonstrates the dedication and love for the city of Shamokin. I would like to thank Mr. Sladey, the former mayor of Shamokin, John Brown, and past city council for the opportunity to serve the city in this position. Thank you to Kathy, Karen, Sarah, Eamon. Outstanding job, ladies. Thanks to Brenda, Vicky, and Paul for always being willing to help. Thank you to Kevin and all the guys in the street department. You are all awesome. Thank you to Ray and his staff at the Shamokin Police Department. You guys are first class. And thank you to Doreen and Larry for all the work behind the scenes. Effective Monday, April 4th, 2022, I will be resigning my position as the Shamokin Code Enforcement Officer. My best wishes to the new mayor and council of the city. I hope you can accomplish great things. Respectfully submitted, David T. Reed.
Okay.
So,
Do we have a motion to accept his resignation?
So moved.
Second.
Any question?
hold on here.
Okay.
Who seconded it?
Joe.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, with that said, Mayor, I would like to request at the end of this meeting, a short executive session with members of council and yourself and Mr. Greco.
All right.
For personnel. We can
For
move on
personnel.
to citizens' comments.
Mhm. All right, next we'll go to citizens' comment contingent upon business listed on the agenda.
None?
None? All right, we'll move on. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the City of Shamokin Council meeting on February 14th, 2022 at the regular council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
That's okay. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Just wanted to see what it'd be like to be here.
I don't want to step on you. Go ahead.
Okay, under bills, a motion to approve the bills from February 2022 is listed on the bill list.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Just as everybody in finance, with financing reviewed this. Okay.
Councilman Lashinsky,
Yes.
Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
and Mayor Ulrich.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Can I ask a question about about what we just voted on? Just I have a question about the line for Horniman, Kluger, and Quinn.
Mhm.
Legal services, general labor matters, $247.50. Was that in reference to?
I don't have the invoice here, therefore I would ask that you stop by the office tomorrow. I'll be glad to make a copy of it for you, but I don't off the top of my head.
That's what I was thinking. You know, I'll be called, that's what I was
I would
thinking.
assume it was from
Probably.
calling about.
Call.
There may be a couple of other things. If you ask me tomorrow to show you, I'll be glad to show you, Joe.
Okay.
It's probably emails too.
Pardon me?
It could be in emails too.
Okay, we're done with that,
You
sorry.
okay? Next, director's reports. Accounts and finance.
I have the treasurer's report for the month ending March 1st, 2022. General fund, $442,254.20. Liquid fuels balance, $98,210.15. Library balance, $33,280.90. Capital projects balance, $5,954.50. Sinking fund number 1, debt service, $146,786.45. Sinking fund number 2, recreation balance, $20,670.70. Street lighting balance, $1,605.79, for a total balance in all accounts, $748,762.69. Submitted by our city treasurer, Brenda Scandal.
Parks and buildings?
Nothing there.
No, Mrs. Moyer didn't indicate that there was anything to report at this time.
Streets and public improvements.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, everybody's favorite time of year is coming. That's one of Charlie's quotes. We have, the street sweeper is gonna start here, very shortly. The sweeper will start April 4th. It's gonna run, daily for the month of April, except for Good Friday, April 15th. And Larry, I'm gonna get you a copy of this, so you have it. Sweeper again, like always, will alternate second and fourth full weeks of the month in May. And those, I'm trying to see, we will get that up on our Facebook page, right? We get it up then,
Yes,
basically
sir.
this letter. Warning tickets are gonna start April 18th to the 22nd. And tagging should start on April 25th. Now, if it's a day before or a day after something happens where you can't get on exactly on those dates, I mean, please be understandable right now. I asked, like, I live in a place where I have a business a few doors away that gets very busy. So if you have, the sweeper's coming or something like that, please be courteous of your neighbors too, who enjoy having this city service. I mean, we all pay for it. So why not take advantage of it and have our streets clean? If, a neighbor that normally never moved, it takes a knock on the door to just get them to move their vehicle for the morning so you can get the whole block done, or, even in front of your place done. It's a big help. Snowfall, I understand this past weekend there was some bumps with the Bunker Hill section. Not everybody from the street department was working on the weekend. That's also a big cost of the city, so there were some substitutes in certain parts of the city. I apologize, there were some places on Bunker Hill that did not get done in other parts of the city, but we're trying to do with what we have and who's available at the time that something like this happens, especially on a weekend. If it was during the week, there wouldn't be as many issues. Spring's coming. Spring cleaning houses, if you get a chance, sweep your front porch, sweep your sidewalks, clean everything off. Appearance is big here. And I want to say congratulations, thanks Betsy, you're awesome with the grant, and everybody here has just been awesome to work with. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I think I'm done
Okay.
till we get to the votes.
Public safety.
First is to fill out this report. Total revenues collected $8,047. Complaints addressed 87, 7 open and 80 closed. 9 code tickets issued, 12 notices of violation sent, 15 written citations, and 5 landlord inspections. 9 properties posted on that. Fire report for the month of February. Fire calls 8, rescue emergency service calls 6, service calls 6, hazardous conditions with no fire 3, false alarm calls 3, twin intent calls 2, special incidents 2. Total calls for February were 30, total personnel were 80. Total in-service hours was 143.13, total man-hours for the month 745.29. And we provided aid to 7 other municipalities.
Thank you. Cedar.
Aaron, do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Are you sure? Mine's long.
Alright, I'll go real quick, I don't have problems.
I'm just letting you know.
As we all know, the demolition on East Independence Street is underway, and Linda and myself and Angie from Peters and Obviously, Dennis from Peters been monitoring the situation closely, and really nothing to report or update yet, but we'll let you know if anything comes up. I have two things on the agenda for the council to vote on regarding the ARPA funding, and an amendment to the premium pay policy. So I'll make myself available for any questions from council on that. That's all I really have for you guys, unless you have any questions for me.
I do. What, on the part-time ones, what are, we have those final numbers, like who's gonna be added to that
Mhm.
and what the cost is gonna be?
Yes. Do you want?
If you have it.
Yeah, so currently the city, in December, when they originally adopted their premium pay policy, they spent $235,000, and this $235,000, yeah. So this amendment would be from council's recommendation from the work session to include 2 part-time officers that they believe were eligible. And that increases it by like another $5,000 because they have to be prorated on a basis because they didn't meet the original hours mark.
5,000 total.
It's actually 4540. Sorry, doing quick math in my head there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Anything else in regards to Aaron? If not, we'll switch over to Betsy.
Betsy, just before you start.
Yes, sir.
I know Joe touched on it, but I know we're all grateful for not only with Congressman User, but everything you do for us and especially me. But no, I'll tell you what, it's been such a great help, and I got to see Congressman that night, so did Joe. And
Yeah.
so we were able to thank him personally, but truly, thank you very much.
It's seriously my pleasure, so thank you. So I have a lot of updates. So buckle up, I'll go as quickly as I can without being too complicated. With the Independence Street downtown makeover, if you have been living under a rock, perhaps you don't know, but we were actually funded for this project. This was we call it the Muser money, but Congressman Muser was looking for a project in the city of Shamokin. And he reached out to us back in last April. We actually applied for these funds back April 16th of last year. And what this is for a downtown makeover of Independence Street. It's called a community project. And I sent to all council members, if anybody else would like a copy of the actual project that I applied. I think there might have been a little bit of confusion that we're going to have a lot of latitude with how we spend the money. We don't really. It's a specific project as grants go. We applied for the grant. Now there will be details that I will be looking for council to assist with. But for the most part, there's definite specifics that we need to spend the money on. It has to be on Independence Street. It has to help with the ADA issue with our sidewalks. So that was one of the big reasons that I believe that we got the funding. I have all the details in this. You're welcome to it. If you have any questions, by all means, reach out. But this was a huge, huge win for the city. I think the only place that got more than us was $3 million. And I can't remember what that was for. Schuylkill County, maybe? But regardless, this was a huge win for the city. So I'm personally thrilled. So it was $2,675,000, which includes $175,000 to prepare construction documents for the bidding. And this also includes coordination and community input meetings. So we do want the community involved, but this really is for a specific project. So I just want to make sure that was crystal clear.
That's the honor.
Yes, sir.
Who will actually lead?
That's probably going to be me, CEDA Cog.
Okay.
I imagine so. I mean, that's something that we can discuss later, but yeah, I would suspect that. Next up is LERDA. So this is something that EDA actually helped push through last year. I'm just reminding any people living in the area, any investors, if you end up purchasing property or you want to improve your current property, as long as it's over $50,000 of improvements, you can apply for a LERDA, which is a tax abatement program. If you have any questions on that, by all means, reach out to me. Probably the biggest news, other than our almost $3 million, was the building's coming down. I have been stalking the place. I just keep watching. I've been there, I've been all over the place. I've been taking daily pictures. So this is, once again, another huge project for the city. So that is still set, obviously, to be done by the end of this year, which is fantastic. Also, what I'd like to do is, towards the end of this year, have a reconvening, how we had that convening years ago before the world shut down. Actually invite all those people to come back and enjoy our new pocket park. So then next on the list, this is a big one that actually happened this afternoon, and Mr. Slavey was involved also. So as you know, we had applied for H&H study, the hydraulic and hydrologic study, and DCED's Act 47 implementation plan actually paid for that. So we met today. Now, let me back up a little bit. We actually got our final study or final results from GPI at CEDACOG today. Last week, we reached out to FEMA because normally it takes months. It could be 6 to 8 months for FEMA to even respond to set up a meeting. Well, they responded and we had a meeting today, which is unheard of. So we had a meeting today. Now, when we did this H&H study, there was a risk because we could have applied for these funds. We hire a consultant in. He could have found exactly what FEMA said. I mean, FEMA remapped all the Susquehanna River. When we looked at the new flood map from the old flood map, we noticed a huge increase in areas that have not historically flooded, like the downtown. So that is why we pushed to get funding to help the city. The city did miss the appeal process. We knew that. In order for you to win an appeal with FEMA, you'd have to have your city's engineer, city doesn't have an engineer, do a study very similar to what GPI did. So as I said, there was a risk. When we hired GPI, they could have said, sorry, folks, you spent $100,000, but we agree with FEMA. That is not the case. GPI, who's the consultant, found a huge discrepancy from inches to some areas to feet in others. So big discrepancy. So during the meeting with FEMA today, our role was to explain to FEMA why we think that the map needs to get revisited. When FEMA did their map, they do it all by flying over. Well, this was GPI. They actually could come here and do field studies and actually measure in the water and measure the bridges. So as I said, there was a huge discrepancy. So what has happened now and what will take place now is FEMA has invited the city to request a LOMAR, which is LOMR, which is a letter of map revision. So what happens is we then work with GPI again. This was an option on the original agreement, but we did not actually ask them to do it until we were invited to by FEMA, which has happened. So we do have the funding, but we'll just need to do a contract amendment if the city would like to follow through with this. It is $15,000, but we have money available because we put a chunk of money towards education. And so we'll just back it off of that and put it towards this if the city would like this to take place. We're already working on an amendment to the contract if the city agrees. And I'm curious how long that would take to get that signed so we can move forward. But before I ask that officially, let me explain what will happen if you agree. If you agree to do a LOMAR, what takes place is I'll have you all sign to do a contract amendment for GPI to say, yes, we would like the LOMAR. Then we work with an individual from FEMA and the city and GPI to actually, we'll have a kickoff meeting and we'll start on this letter of map revision. what happens if we do nothing? If we say, no, we're not gonna do anything, which would be foolish, but your choice. Next December 2023, the new map takes effect. That's what happens. However, if we do the letter of map revision, so there's something called an LFD, which is a letter of final determination. That's going to come out sometime around June of next year, June of 2023. We need to have the LOMAR, once again, letter of map revision, in 90 days before that. So our goal would have the LOMAR done and submitted way prior to March of next year, March of 2023. So if we get that in there, it takes, and FEMA said 9 to 12 months for them to approve that. But at least we have followed all the steps that we can to fight your FEMA flood remap. So as I said, it was a risk when we did the H&H, but it actually came out in our favor. I know that was a whole lot. Does anybody have any questions on that?
I don't. I participated. I've been participating in those meetings. The mayor, I believe, was with me on one of them, and yes, it will be a win-win situation for the city of Shamokin.
Yes.
And if CEDACOG will prepare the letter, we can move the letter through as early as next month if you want.
Yeah, the quicker the better. So I'm not sure
Sure.
how long that LOMAR will take, but as long as I have your approval. So I know that I could not get this actually on the agenda for tonight because it happened this afternoon. But I was curious, how quickly can we get council to officially approve the contract amendment? Is that something that has to go through? It does. So it has to happen next month.
Yes. Just so everybody understands, if we don't do the LOMAR, we just wasted what, $75,000?
More than that. Yeah.
We just made it.
That's what I said.
2 years now.
It's a no-brainer as
It's
to
insane.
what we have to do.
It's
So,
totally your call, but I would not advise you to say no.
In order to question, this I guess for Solicitor Greco, in order, if we were to start that instead of say starting it at next month, is that something that before the end of the month, there could be a possible special meeting if it needed to get done that
There could be a
early?
special meeting tomorrow if that's what council wants to do.
Let me ask Terry if starting next month is a big deal. If there's an issue, I will let you all know. So I just wanted to make sure that you were all up to date on this, which is a huge, huge deal. So this is a very, very good thing, FYI, which I'm sure you can get. So I wanted to update you also on the home program. So this is through HUD, and I have it all on your updates. So this is the grant that the city is getting $500,000 annually to rehabilitate. It's going to be about 9 houses per year, up to $65,000 per house at no cost to the homeowner. So right now, the current status of this is we have walkthroughs scheduled for 2 homes, and that's where the contractors will actually go through the homes to see what work is specified so they can bid it out. And then that's on 3/15, and so one's tomorrow. And the bids are going to be due on the 29th of this month. And then the work should start soon after that. So this is happening on 2 homes already. 1 additional intake has been approved and inspections have begun. Another 2 intakes have started, are on the books, and 1 was completed on the 7th. Intakes are where they come in and they make sure that their bills are paid up to date. They have to be up to date on the utilities and their taxes. If they are not kicked off the list forever. They just have to be up to date before any work's done, before they're actually accepted into the program. If you are curious, you can still apply for the home program. I'm going to give the 800 number. You can also reach out to me and I will give you the 800 number. But that goes to CEDACOG Stacy Anderson, and her number is 800-326-9310. The qualifications are you must own your own home or have life rights to live in it. You must meet the income qualifications based on household size. To give you an idea, a family of 4 can't make over $50,550. You must be current on taxes and utility bills, and you must live in the home an additional 5 years. If for whatever reason you end up getting an amazing job and have to move, you just have to pay the money back at a prorated amount if it's less than 5 years. And the last thing I wanted to share is, so the downtown camera system. Unfortunately, Kathy Vitovich is no longer working in the code office, and as such, now I'm going to be giving back to council the security camera project. I have everything that she has worked on. The project is moving forward. Yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt, I thought that was an EDA project.
she took it to codes. She took it to codes to complete it, so that's where it's been working at codes office.
We were just told by her.
We weren't aware of that, were we?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so you might want to specify with her, but she's been working on it in codes. And it's been part of the updates that she's been giving to Bob Slavy.
I thought originally it was Saber, then when.
It would never went to Sabre. Nope, get Sabre out of your mind. What happened is Mayor John Brown reached out to EDA and said, I can't get the camera system project moving. Can EDA take it over?
And she told Tim Zyla in his office 2 weeks ago that the EDA was handling that project.
EDA was assigned it. She took it to take, when we gave it to her to take to codes to help with it. Absolutely. But take Sabre out. Sabre was never involved.
I didn't mean that, I meant EDA.
Yeah, EDA. But it's been part of her codes report that she gives to Bob Slavy each month. So I don't know anything else. All I know is it was given to me, and I said, I will bring it up the meeting. Here it is as it stands. Whoever needs to take it over from here, I'm
So that
bequeathing it onto you.
EDA and Kathy Vitovich are off that project totally.
Yes.
Just give that to Eamon.
Eamon, here you go. There's a bunch of copies for it, so.
Is there a lot that needs done yet?
The equipment's been purchased. What I have here is the equipment's been purchased. It has everything that's in here, the businesses that have agreed to having it on their business. The tasks are on here. Also, there was a MOU for any businesses that were allowing the cameras on their buildings. That's all on here. A memorandum of understanding. So, because with the putting it on the buildings, they want to make sure that the installer would not be held liable should something happen.
When did she notify anybody of this change?
She was fired. She was fired out of the code office.
Yeah,
So
No, she wasn't fired.
she was let go out of the code office and asked to give her key. So when I reached out to her to find out the update for the camera system, I found out all of this today.
Okay.
So that's when I found out about it today.
So when she got let go, then she quit on the camera project, because that was I know that was under EDA. I know our code and under, but this is like.
All right. Oh, let's move on.
Yeah,
She don't want no part of it, that's fine. She's also on 2 boards, if she would like to resign from those 2.
no, I don't think so. I think she's just drawing the line.
That's rotten to the entire city. You take the project for 2.5 years and you blame everybody else and every reason around that the project can't get done. And then because there was she had a temporary position and she knew that when she took the job, that was before
I'm not
Yeah.
going to get in the middle of this. I'm just giving you
I'm
the
not even,
scoop.
I'm sorry to get you in it, but if Kathy had something to say, she should have came tonight instead of us.
Thank you. Other than that, I have no other updates. But if you have any,
Good.
it's been a very good week or so for the city of Shamokin, so thank you.
Thank you. Now, could you repeat all that?
No. No.
All right.
Read it in the paper in the next few days.
Chief of Police, Chief Psycho had a prior commitment, so I get to get his report. Juvenile petition 0, criminal complaints 21, non-traffic citations 7, traffic citations 20, traffic warnings 4, parking tickets 42, parking citations 13, sweeper tickets 0, code tickets 0, abandoned citations 0, total calls 762, miles patrolled 3,357. Thank you, Chief Psycho. Okay, moving on under new business. At this time, what I'm gonna do is make a motion to approve items 1 through 16. If anybody has anything they want questioned on any of them, we'll mark them and hold them and then vote on the rest.
So we need a
So if I can get a motion,
So move.
okay,
Was that Scott?
yeah,
Second.
okay, on the question.
Yes, I just wanna talk about number 15. If anybody has anything else, they're welcome to go before that.
No, the only one I was gonna bring up was, real quick on 14 Joe, just so I can explain that.
Go ahead.
The city of Shamokin looking into the pricing of a K-9 unit. Bob Dirk's here, he's with Crime Watch. Crime Watch is essentially looking to fund and take care of basically the cost of this K-9. So,
Okay. Crime Watch before COVID looked at the idea of trying to be the fundraiser to get a K-9 unit. Specifically, our thinking was drug detection dog. Looking at things online, that seems to be the startup cost probably around $20,000. Our reasoning behind it then, and of course COVID put it all to a kibosh, is we're already a 501c3, so people could donate, businesses could donate, tax deductible. We have a small games chance license already, so you wouldn't have to set up a separate foundation and doing all that. We have that available. We would open up a separate account, probably get Brenda on it. We already have the chief of police on our accounts. But we were looking to try to do all the raising of money. There's grants out there. We will be approaching the citizens, the business people, things like that to try to kick off a fundraising campaign. So as part of that, we're asking that council allow Crime Watch to start the process of trying to secure the funding for it. So not just looking at the cost, we're also saying, give us the permission and the blessing to start fundraising to try to get this to happen. When you're looking at cost $20,000, they say the average is 6 to 8 years for a K-9 in service. If anybody can get a full-time officer for $20,000 for 6 years, great, but that's in essence what you're getting. So that's our part of it, is that we're basically asking, let us try to raise all or just about all of the money so the city isn't being burdened with any price tag along with this. So in essence, it would be free to the city.
thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
That's the next one.
Okay, Mr. Vice Chair, let's hit the 15.
So this is the cost of living that's normally been approved every year. I was here 2 days in January. I got an email from I questioned about this 2 days after I was here. We got the information at the workshop with the cost of living. Years past, it was just put on an agenda and passed through. I'd questioned why a lot of these officers, I have nothing, I want to be clear to everybody, I'm not against any police or anything like that, or Miss Strasser and Miss Whitmer, I know them both, personally. This here was handed out for years, you know, and not really looked like it cost the city a lot of money. Our MMO is crazy. This here is gonna implement an increase of approximately, I believe they said about $180 a month for the 2 pensions, compared to what it could have been had the other 16 that weren't entitled to it because of the contract. Just passed it through to just put it through like in years past. So I mean, like this, everybody kind of jumped on board and helped look into things, and with the answer we got was the 2 here that are entitled to it. Not everybody, like in years past, have got it because there's certain criteria in the retirement contracts. And with this one here, for these two, I believe with the years of service after Mr. Zelinski retires, this COLA won't happen probably for a long time.
That's correct.
So, I
And
mean,
keep in mind, as it says on the agenda, that this wasn't done by my office, the city of Shamokin. This was done by the actuaries, who is Foster and Foster, and the other consultants utilized by Gerard Pension Services, so.
right, so that's something I wanted to say that to the entire council, and even like looking at the entire agenda tonight. Rick got here 3 months ago. I mean, and everybody here I worked with has worked great. I mean, you see like all the work getting put in here. And it's a testament to everybody's time and effort that they're putting in. We have a really good group with even our contracted employees and things like that. It's lots being done. So if you ever hear nobody's doing nothing up here, we're coming. So I want to let everybody know that was a big thing there. So even moving forward, this is not going to be a major increase to every year like it had been in years past at the MMO, which eats up about half of our police budget every year. And when we get in talks like these, that's the first place Act 47 looks to recoup money is our police department. And it's not our current officers' fault. These were the contracts that were given long before here. But just to be clear, I will be voting no on number 15 because it increases our debt in the long run, even if it is only $180.
Okay, we're gonna pull that number 15 out for the time being. You are going to vote
I need
on,
to abstain from number 11.
okay? Mr. Greco, pull that one too.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to pull number 11 and number 15. Therefore, there's a, what, Mr. Greco?
11, right?
Mine says, that's, okay. Part-time police officer?
No, number 11 on mine says premium pay.
Yeah, premium pay policy and contract.
Oh, it's because of the premium pay part,
Okay.
not for the officers.
No.
It just says a conflict for me.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Correct. On those items excluding number 11 and number 15. Any other questions? Mr. Lashinsky,
Yes.
Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes,
and Mayor Ulrich.
Yes.
The motion carries, covering all of them with the exception of number 11 and number 15. Now, Mr. Greco, do we deal with each one of those separately?
Yes.
Okay, so with number 11, is there a motion to proceed, and then we'll get on the question?
So moved.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Now on the question.
Roll call.
Roll call. Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Mr. Lashinsky,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
abstain.
Mrs. Moyer, absent, and Mayor Ulrich.
Yes. So now 15, we need a motion.
Yes, sir.
Can I get a motion
Need a
for?
motion to approve
So moved. and then I have
as
something
stated
on
on the
question.
agenda. What, Mr. Rowan?
So moved, and then I have something on the question.
I'll second.
Other question?
On the question, we did, so everybody's aware, look at a contract and contact Labor Council.
That's correct.
Because if we just said no to this, they could file a grievance. It'll go to an arbitrator,
That's correct.
and it's in the contract, so we're gonna end up paying it anyway.
That's correct.
So everybody's aware.
It is cheaper to do it this way than
Yes.
to get a grievance filed against the city.
We're giving it to everybody.
That's
Take away
correct.
free money.
That's even,
Yeah.
Okay,
okay.
roll call.
Mr. Lashinsky,
No.
Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes,
and Mayor Ulrich.
Yes.
The motion carries. Therefore, we are now in boards and committee completed with that section 116. We have unfinished business.
Oh, is there any unfinished business?
I don't believe so, but we'll just get that on the record.
All right. Next, we have boards and committees. I'll entertain a motion to accept sections 1, 2, and 3 to lay these appointments to these boards.
I'm gonna have to abstain too.
Oh,
1 and 2.
Just number,
oh,
no,
yeah. Okay.
Which number? 1 and 2?
Number 2.
just number two.
Just number 2?
She knows that, right?
Okay.
All right. Well, can I get a motion for 1 and 3?
So move.
Okay. On the question?
Mr. Lashinsky,
Yes.
Mr. Roughton,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
and Mayor Ulrich.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, on item 2, request a motion to appoint Brian Annis to the landlord tenant board.
Motion.
5 years.
Motion.
Second.
Yeah, first and second. On the question? Roll call.
Mr. Lashinsky,
Yes.
Mr. Roughton,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Abstain.
Mrs. Moyer, and Mayor Ulrich.
Yes. All right, moving on. We move on to the solicitor's report. Attorney Greco?
As you can see, the report is quite lengthy, so we'll do this as best we can. The first one is the second reading of Ordinance 22-01, Shamokin Trailer Commercial and Recreational Vehicle Parking Ordinance. The purpose of this ordinance, the City Council of the City of Shamokin finds it necessary and desirable to regulate the parking of trailers, commercial vehicles, and recreation vehicles within the city in order to promote the comfort, health, safety, and welfare of the residents of and visitors to the city by protecting them from exposure to nuisances, including but not limited to hazardous or harmful obstacles to parking, driving, or pedestrian traffic, and such hazardous or other harmful conditions which may attract children and others to them and result in physical injury or other harm, and further to prevent the blighting of neighborhoods and the degradation of the environment, and to minimize the psychological ill effects of the presence of such vehicles and debris upon adjoining residents and property owners. This is the second reading. In the interim, there was a minor change in the commercial vehicle, changing the weight from 6,000 to 16,000 pounds.
Correct.
In all other respects, the ordinance stands as was previously read. So we would need a motion to approve that ordinance.
So moved.
Sorry.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Second.
On the question. That'll be
Has the weight, so weight been adjusted in the?
Yes, I did say that.
yes.
From 16 to 6, well, from 6 to 16,000.
Okay.
Do the roll call, Mr. Greco?
Yes.
Mr. Lashinsky,
No.
Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Mrs. Ennis,
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer is absent. Mayor Ulrich,
Yes.
motion carries. That is now officially adopted. How about it?
The next item is an ordinance amending the street and sidewalk ordinance of the city of Shamokin, prohibiting obstructions, violation, and penalties shall be amended to read as follows. The construction, maintenance, replacing of any permanent or temporary structure, encroachment, advertising signs, or obstruction upon over any sidewalk or any public street in the city, other than those permitted by the building code and the zoning code is prohibited, provided, however, that the owners or occupants of properties abutting a sidewalk may place temporary obstructions such as tables and display racks upon the sidewalk, immediately abutting such property upon the sidewalk, abutting any other property with the permission of the owner or occupant thereof, so long as such obstruction or encroachment does not interfere with the rights of the public to traverse said sidewalk safely and conveniently, but must leave at least 48 inches for traverse. The owner or occupant of property abutting the sidewalk may, upon obtaining a permit therefrom, the Bureau of Code Enforcement place tables and chairs upon a sidewalk immediately abutting such property, which food and beverage may be dispensed, provided that the same shall not interfere with the rights of the public to traverse the sidewalk safely and conveniently. Any such establishment operating with the permit must also be in full compliance with the statutes, ordinances, and applicable regulations, and furthermore does not grant any additional rights of any permits or licenses issued by the Commonwealth. Any violations would be punishable by not less than $100 or more than $500. This ordinance would be available for public inspection till the next meeting. Anyone have any questions? This was modeled after the city of Harrisburg to allow establishments to serve food, beverages on their property. It doesn't enlarge anything that the LCB license does not allow.
Yeah, and this does not allow permanent structures on.
That's correct, temporary.
And what if there is permanent structure, do they have to be removed to comply, or would they be
They'd be grandfathered.
grandfathered in? Okay.
So that would be the first reading of that ordinance, and at the end of these ordinances, there are a number. I would just be asking for a motion to advertise those. So then here's a copy for the city of Shamokin. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. The next ordinance, first reading pertains to first reading of ordinance 22-04, dealing with solid waste. An ordinance of the city of Shimokin, Republic County, to amend the municipal waste management ordinance of the city of Shimokin, specifically chapter 450-6, preparation and storage. In particular, municipal waste to be collected on a door-to-door basis shall be prepared for such collection in the following manner. All garbage shall be drained of excess liquids and wrapped in paper, be placed in plastic bags before being placed in the waste storage containers previously described, and all ashes free of any burning material before being deposited for collection. All garbage, refuse, debris, and recyclable materials shall be deposited in approved receptacles. All garbage containers and/or storage areas shall be located on the property served and on the city street right of way or city alley driving surface so as to obstruct traffic, nor to sidewalk areas to obstruct pedestrian traffic. Storage areas shall not contain discarded household appliances, yard waste, building materials, or any other material unless picked up and removed at least weekly. Storage areas shall not be located in the front yard, front sidewalk, or front porch. Storage areas located on a side, street, yard, or corner lots of any residential property shall be screened from view so that the garbage and rubbish receptacle is not openly and visible from the streets. Overflowing garbage containers, scattered garbage and rubbish piles on the premises in the city are prohibited. All garbage and rubbish containers shall be covered, and garbage, trash, and refuse may not be piled so that it's above the top of the container. The receptacle shall be moved from the storage area to the pickup area not more than 24 hours prior to the scheduled pickup time, and returned to the storage area not more than 12 hours after the scheduled pickup time. No person except the occupants of the property on which a waste container is placed and an authorized collector shall remove the lids of the containers or remove the contents. Municipal waste of a highly flammable, explosive nature or infectious or contagious refuse shall not be stored for ordinary collection. So that would, in essence, be the amendment to the waste ordinance. So that would be the first reading of that. Anyone have any questions on that? That would be for the city. The next reading would be dealing with the property maintenance standards within the city. City council authorized the following language to be amended. In particular, section 40610 dealing with the property maintenance code. A certain document, a copy of which on file, being designated as a 2008 International Property Maintenance Code, or any subsequent revisions or additions as published by the International Code, is hereby adopted as the Property Maintenance Code of the City of Shamokin. Also contained is changing the wording in that document to the City of Shamokin, adding dates and any potential violations. So that would consist of the first reading of the property maintenance ordinance. Does anyone have any questions on that?
Thank you.
Lastly, there will be the first reading of the ordinance of the City of Shamokin, ordinance number 22-06, dealing with tickets, wishes to adopt the standards for property maintenance. City Council authorized the following language to be amended in Chapter 93, Section 3 of the City of Shamokin Ordinance Code. Quality of life violations shall be any violations of the International Property Maintenance Code. The proper appropriate ordinances shall be deemed quality of life violations. It's amending sections 302, 302.4, 302.8, 308, 132, 245, 450.16, 458, and it increases the violations. The first violation is set forth in this chapter within a 12-month period. Tickets shall be issued in the amount of $25. For a second offense, if a violation is set forth in this chapter within a 12-month period, the ticket shall be issued in the amount of $75. For a third offense, for a violation within a 12-month period, ticket shall be issued in the amount of $150. For the fourth offense and all subsequent offenses as set forth in the chapter within a 12-month period, ticket shall be issued in the amount of $300. So that would entail the first reading of the quality of life ticket ordinances for the City of Shamokin. Having said all that, what I would ask the mayor to ask for is a motion to advertise those.
I will. Okay, can I get a motion that we advertise these ordinances?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Yep. Mr. Lashinsky,
Yes.
Mr. Rowan,
Yes.
Mrs. Annis,
Yes.
Mayor Ulrich,
Yes.
the motion carries.
Also, I have a number of resolutions. The first resolution, as stated on the agenda, Resolution 22-02 for council members to be able to attend and vote at city council monthly meetings by telephone or video call with a maximum of twice per year. So that would now therefore be resolved that City Council, the City of Shimokin hereby authorize the mayor and city council members to attend city council meetings by telephone or video call to not more than twice per year. So that would be one resolution that should we do these all together?
I think so.
I think we can. I just want to make sure. Anyone have any questions on that? Okay, the next resolution would be Resolution 2203 to approve ARPA revenue loss to funds to allocate remaining ARPA funding to be used for general government services. Then it would be a resolution, the city of Shamokin, Northumberland County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, recipient of ARPA funds has elected to allocate their ARPA funds to revenue loss using the standard allowance as per the final rule issued on January 6, 2022, and guidance issued by the United States Treasury. Now therefore be it resolved this 14th day of March 2022, the allocation, and I believe it's 492,660.36. Is that correct? Does that sound, or is that?
I'm not sure if that includes the 2 part-time officers that are just voted on today.
Okay.
I can give you a copy of that
So that number will have to be
adjusted.
Have been allocated to the standard allowance revenue to spend on government services during the period of performance. With this provision, treasurer presumes that up to 10 million revenue has been lost into the public health emergency, and recipients are permitted to use that fund to fund government services. So that's that resolution. Anyone have any questions on that? And last but not least, Resolution 22-04, at the request of the city treasurer to increase the current duplicate bill fee from 5 to 15 effective immediately. And the resolution of the city of Shimokin to permit the city treasurer to increase the duplicate tax bill fee, whereas the city of Shimokin intends to increase said fees for duplicate tax bills, and the city treasurer is to increase the tax duplication fee from $5 to $15 effective immediately. So for each request, the city treasurer is permitted to increase the tax duplication fee from $5 to $15 effective immediately, adopted by the city of Shamokin by and through city council on the 14th day of March 2022. Anyone have any questions on that?
No.
Is that a motion approval?
So Mr. I have a question.
Yes.
Now I abstained from the premium pay with the ARPA
Yes.
because I was included in the premium pay, but am I
I don't think you need to.
on this one? I don't need to, okay, thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve these 3 resolutions?
Second.
Anything on the question any further?
Mr. Lashansky,
Yes.
Mr. Relton,
Yes.
Mrs. Annis,
Yes.
and Mayor Ulrich.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Greco. Anything under citizens' comment?
Council, after hearing the attorney speak about the new ordinances that are being looked at, the question I would pose for all of you is the garbage ordinance. We have many row homes in the city that do not have the ability to travel between the homes to get their trash from the backyard to the front yard. Many of those residents park their trash cans on their front porch, bring them down off the porch and set them at the curb during that time. It's unsafe, unsanitary to drag week-old trash from the back of the house through the home to the front of the street. I think our current garbage ordinance is really sufficient in what we have here in Shamokin. I would ask council not to move forward with a new ordinance that's going to require tenants to somehow drag their trash, or homeowners to drag their trash from the back of their home to the front of their home through their home. A lot of homes here don't have backyards. Where are they putting the trash at if they can't put it in the front porch if they don't have a backyard? So we need an ordinance, which is what we already have, that pretty well covers majority of those things without having to kind of have code make judgment calls. It's black and white. Our current code, I think, is sufficient. The landlord tenant ordinance that you guys are speaking about for revision to, as the attorney was reading, it was for 2008 and all future renditions. That's been struck down by the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania as not being, excuse me?
2018.
2018.
I said 2018.
I thought you read 2008 and all future renditions.
I said 2018, any future.
Okay, the part of all future renditions has been struck down by Pennsylvania Supreme Court multiple times in Pennsylvania, because you as council cannot give a third party the right to revise your rules, regulations, and laws without you first reviewing it and passing it here. So the Supreme Court has already made those rulings multiple times. I would ask you to revisit what you're looking to adopt, including the fact of the IMPC. The state of Pennsylvania had the right to adopt that back when they adopted the UCC and all of the other current programs or current codes that the state has adopted. Pennsylvania put out clear language to communities, township, boroughs, cities, and townships that they were going to allow them to adopt their own property maintenance code or adopt a nationally recognized code. They did not adopt the International Property Maintenance Code because there are a lot of things in that code book that violate current state law. One of which, as soon as you adopt that, would require every rental property to have a sprinkler system in the city of Shamokin. You will essentially end every rental property in the city and chase all of those tenants out of the city, because you're not going to have all those owners put sprinkler systems and retrofit sprinkler systems into homes in the city of Shimokin. Thank you, and I yield back in time.
Thank you.
What we're going to do is, based on the comments made by the citizen, have Mr. Greco, our solicitor, look into it, review it, and we'll have further comment at a later date.
No other citizens comment? At this time?
Yeah, Mayor, I have one thing.
Oh, yes, sir.
Let everyone know, because I forgot about it. We also received, about a week or two, maybe a little longer ago, a letter of support from Congressman Muser for the grant, that the federal grant that the Fire Bureau applied for to replace the breathing apparatus. So we got a letter of support from him and with that. So hopefully that helps get that money to replace the breathing apparatus.
That's great. Scott, was that addressed to the fire bureau?
No, actually it was addressed to the gentleman that runs that grant program.
I was just going to ask if we could have a copy for the city.
Yeah, I can send it to you. I have an email.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, at this time, we'll adjourn for the executive session for personnel, and we'll come back and.
Yeah.
We do it.
Can you pick up the one you want to go after? I'll look through it.
I thought it was like 90.
No action, hang on back to it.
Alright, sounds good. This is done. The live is done.
Maybe they gave you a minute.